What's happening, good people? Hoping everybody is doing all right. It's Friday, and another day that I could possibly think of. Let me see. We commemorate and remember 20 years ago today when we saw one of the biggest storms hit New Orleans, Katrina. Everybody remember Katrina. You can't, you cannot even try to forget. A lot of people want to forget. A lot of people don't even want to have these conversations that we having now. I do know that today is one day, but tomorrow is actually. And I was talking to OT earlier today, Councilman Oliver Thomas, and he said, gee, just remember that this is today, but tomorrow is really the day that everybody could say the flooding started. I was like, yeah, you got a point. He said, I know because I was out there in that water, which he was. Oliver was out there in that water. So earlier today, got a chance to go out to the Lower Ninth Ward and see the big commencement service they had out there up against the walls of. Those are the ones that everybody said collapsed first to let all that water into the Lower Ninth Ward. And then, of course, all the folks that got out there and spoke today. And I tell you, one person that went out there, I was really surprised, but he went out there today and was just standing out there like normal people. Who you talking about? Vice President Al Gore. Just standing out there like regular people, taking pictures and speaking and hanging out. But they, second line from the Lower Ninth Ward to Hunter's Field. That was a big second line. They had all the folks. All the folks were out there today. And then, of course, people had stories to tell. A lot of stories to tell. Probably a lot of stories that we've never heard of before, especially our folks down in the Lower Ninth Ward. Go ahead and make that call, Whit. So we're happy that you're here. Happy that you came home. We remember those that didn't make it. We remember those that did make it and didn't have any else where to go. And those of you that had to leave New Orleans and just could not get back. And maybe still not back because life happens. And when you set up shop in other places, it's kind of hard to daggone tear it down again and move back. So I will say to you, wherever you may be, that we wish you and your family well and hope that everything is good as we take these 20 years to reminisce. And then one of the issues, too, we like to make sure that we cross today is how you feel about today's New Orleans. Is this New Orleans that you expected? Is this a New Orleans that you don't like, that you do like? How you feel about it? So we definitely want to hear from you and what you think. Our guest today, he was here earlier this week. As a matter of fact, he was at a couple of the churches this past week and had a chance to talk and even made the paper. But I'm glad that I have the privilege of being able to pick up the phone and calling him and saying, let's do the show. Let's just do the show. And let's get it on. Let's talk about it. Because you never know. Things may have changed, that those things he wants to get out. And we're going to let him get it out. Would you please welcome to the airwaves of WBOK, former mayor and a lot of hero when it came to Katrina, Mayor C. Ray Nagin. We definitely want to say hello to him. Mayor Nagin.
What's up, G-Man?
What's going on with you?
It's all good, bro. I can't complain, man. It's good to talk to you.
Same here. Thank you, number one, for picking up the phone and saying I got to let these things out. But I told everybody, I said, if y'all didn't see him this weekend in person, You missed the treat. You missed the treat. That's what everybody's talking about. As a matter of fact, you went to several different churches this weekend in New Orleans,
Right,
and
right. Yeah, they invited me to come. It kind of came together at the last minute. I was in town. You know, I come in town at least uh, once a week, every month. So
right.
I happened to be there, and I was people were encouraging me to come and say some things because they were watching the documentaries and the news stories, and they were saying something wasn't right. The truth wasn't getting out there. So.
Have you noticed that?
Uh,
I mean, there's a lot of folks that's trying to take credit for a lot of things that didn't happen, and then a lot of people telling a whole bunch of stories of stuff they say that did happen that didn't happen.
Man, it's really amazing to me. Somebody sent me a text yesterday, and it had an article. Somebody was talking about the green dot issue that we ran into
Right.
with trying to, not let some people come back and rebuild, and they were telling a totally different story than what really happened. So it's just amazing to me that people are trying to rewrite history and tell the story and write themselves into the
Yeah.
story when they really shouldn't be that way.
Um. Well, let me start like this then, because I'm gonna kind of get into your business. First of all, how your family? Everybody good?
Man, everybody's good. I can't complain. Got a grandson's really into basketball. I've been spending a lot of time with him. He's doing well, going into his junior year at high school, and I think he's going to have an awesome year. And I got another grandson who's in college
Oh no,
in
huh?
Tennessee. Yeah, man. I'm getting old, bro.
I was getting ready to say I'm not. Mine had already graduated. Mine had already graduated. That little girl. I was like, "When did you graduate, girl?" She said you were there. I was like, "No, that's a dream. That was a dream." Yeah, but we getting up in there in our ages, so that's expected.
Oh yeah, man. It beats the alternative, that's for sure.
Absolutely, good to know that. How's mom? Mom good?
Mom is good, man. She's coming along. She had a major stroke about 2.5 years ago, but
Hmm.
she gets stronger every day, man. She's in therapy, and God is good, man. That's all I can say.
Very good. Very good. Let's talk about this city for a minute. You visit. You know a lot of folks probably still in contact. I don't know, but probably a lot of
Hmm.
people still in contact with you to talk about certain things. Um, what are you hearing with the politics of this city? I know that we have to be a little bit quiet because a lot of folks monitoring these days.
You think?
Yes, indeed, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It just seems like the city is kind of I won't say a crossroad because we've been in so many crossroads before, but politically, it's just I'm really concerned, man.
Uh huh.
Some storm clouds to me coming over the horizon, and my sense is that people are kind of not really paying attention and understanding what's getting ready to go on.
Right.
You got a mayor's race, and it seems to me like the powers that be have kind of selected the candidate that they want. It's amazing to me that the current mayor has been indicted 3 months before the election's coming up.
And on the death
Uh,
anniversary of the death of her husband on that very day.
Now that's cold blooded.
Yeah.
That is really good. Now I've had my run-ins and my battles with those folk downtown, and you know they just. I was hopeful that they would have changed some of this negativity, but it don't seem like it, G.
Nope.
It really don't, man. And the thing that also frustrates me a little bit is how some in the local media are definitely walking step by step with them.
Right.
And they claim to be some great investigators, and what they're doing is they're meeting and having lunch and dinner, and folk are feeding them information, and they're coming out like they done found something.
Yep. And then say they're the
It's
investigative so they can get award.
absolutely, absolutely. So I just see all that stuff going down, and I don't know, man. It just I hope people are paying attention because to me it's kind of a dangerous situation because you got the state. It looks like they're trying to become more involved in New Orleans
Hmm.
from the standpoint of potentially taking over. Now, they sent some troops down and they help with crime, which is a good thing. But where does that end, or does it end? And
Uh,
if they get a certain person in the office that will concede more power to them, then where does the city end up?
right.
And how do we protect the home rule charter? Because the home rule charter gives us certain rights as far as local self governance.
Hmm. I
And
really
if
don't
that's
think they care.
breached,
I really don't think they care. I think that they are following the master of not caring, who is the president of the United States, and breaking every law that you could possibly think of. And then by the time you get into court, it's months or maybe even years later, and they've already taken control and done as much damage as they possibly can do. I'm finding out in politics, Mayor Van Hagen, that it's harder to get things straightened back up after they demolish it.
and that's my concern. I mean, if it goes too far, then what does the city become? And I just hope folk wake up
Yeah.
and they don't let themselves be pushed or, you know, uh, I don't know how to even describe it, but don't let yourself be pushed in a direction that is not in your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Do your homework. Check out all the candidates. Find out what they have done. I mean, one of the questions I was asked is, what did these candidates do after Katrina to help,
Right.
move things along, especially when the state was holding money back from us?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do?
So,
And
so
I
that's
would get
that's a
that
good
on the
question.
record.
How much money did they hold back from the city? I've heard so many different stories, including when we were in desperate need for resources coming into the city after the storm, that there were truckloads of resources that were sitting in another parish that never made it here, and they were just sitting out there having cookouts and enjoying the ice and enjoying all the things in the trucks that never reached us.
Well, all I can do is tell you my experience, and that's what I tell people. Look, don't listen to these folk that are claiming they were there. Some of them were out of town, and some of them weren't anywhere to be found. But I remember the Secretary of Homeland Security. I think his name was Chertoff, and he wanted to meet me.
Hmm.
So, but he was out at the Saints practice facility where they had a lot of resources and a lot of people staged. So when I went out there, because I'm in New Orleans and we had nothing.
Hmm.
So I went out there and then I just noticed they had everything you could think of. They had caterers cooking food, they had watermelons, they had portalets lined up all over the place. They had supplies and trucks and you name it.
Mm.
And he had the press following him around like he was in New Orleans, giving them the impression that this stuff they brought it here and it was for the people in New Orleans, but it never reached us, G.
Wow. And they didn't care.
Nah, man, they didn't care, man. They were trying to, let the public think one thing when it was something different.
Hmm.
I mean, the president gave a speech in Jackson Square one night,
Right.
and there was no electricity in the city.
Right.
But I tell you what, when he was getting ready to start his speech,
They lit that
they
puppy
flipped
up.
the switch, and it looked like Disneyland.
I
And
remember
when he
that.
finished,
It was no
it,
lights, and all of a sudden, kaboom! I was like, "What lit up, and how did they light it up?" But they lit it up.
and after he finished, it was dark again.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the game, man. And we weren't their priority, and we had to keep the pressure on and keep talking to the national media. And at some point in time, the pressure started to build to the point where they had no choice but to send resources.
When.
And I'll never forget
Mhm.
that after a while it got so bad, they had these tax credits that would help people to rebuild certain areas. And, the governor at the time had declared an emergency in 34 different parishes throughout the state. And a lot of those parishes didn't have any damage at all.
Yeah.
And we never got the percentage of the resources that we really need. But anyway, the treasurer at the time, I think he's a senator now, Kennedy.
Yep.
He gave me a call one time and said, look, man, these tax credits are not coming to y'all. I'm going to make sure y'all get some of this. And this was like weeks or months after the storm. And, they were spreading it around the state, and we didn't get our fair share, but he made sure that we got some of it.
Wait a minute. He knew it wasn't coming to us, but he did tell you, like, look,
yeah,
since I'm in a
he
political
looked at
game,
it. He said, man, y'all should be getting more of this money.
Wow.
Or these tax credits.
Wow.
And he said, look, I don't know what's going on. They're blaming y'all, saying you didn't apply for the money or whatever. But he said, look, I'm going to make sure that you get more of the money that's left over, more of the tax credits that's left over. And he did.
Well, I can remember one thing about your administration, and I think a lot of folks may not have even understood that not having commerce here and not being able to do business and trying to balance a budget at the same time, one of the things you said was, I'm going to make sure that we do this and not have the city to go bankrupt. And
that's one of the things. The state was looking to take over total control of New Orleans, and they can only do that in two ways, in my opinion. And one is to file for bankruptcy. The other is just to give them control, and we weren't doing that. So we fought, and we got a couple of banks to help us. We had some bond money. We had passed like the largest bond issue that the city had ever done in its history. So we had that money, and then we used some of that to start the rebuild process. Thank God we were able to not file for bankruptcy, which would have been an absolute disaster.
Wow. I will say this too. One of the things that I said, if I ever get a chance to tell you, I'm gonna tell you. And this was, if you notice, and I don't know how much you pay attention to the city, but recently, probably in the last 6 months to a year, we have noticed that a lot of these buildings are crumbling. You could be walking down the street and get hit in the head with a brick because they're just falling apart, and it's been more than one. And what this reminded me of was the fact that I was sitting in that meeting with you when you said, hold on, we are not going to slap some paint and just invite everybody to come back in the city and put some new sheetrock. We're going to get our engineers to go in, and they're going to do an assessment of these buildings, because some of those, whatchamacallits, that hold up the building have been underwater for weeks and were rusting.
Yep.
And I said,
no, I remember that. I think we sent out teams and teams of people to go do an assessment to find out which buildings were structurally solid or not.
Right. Yep. And you had a whole book of them, every building. And I said, man, thank God for you, because they would have just slapped some paint on that thing, put up some sheetrock, and them buildings would have been fell down. So.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them that passed inspection at the time, probably over the years, 20 years now, they probably have further weakened, and that's why you're starting to see some of them collapse.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Mayor, can you hold on for 1 minute?
Yes, sir.
We got to get some commercials going here. We'll come right back to you.
Sounds good.
All right. Former mayor of the city of New Orleans, see Ray Nagin on the phone with us, having a conversation here. Y'all can get in it too. 504-582-9422. More coming up.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, You amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
2517 Bayou Road, Chef Sherman Esteem. You're talking about great food, great conversations, and definitely great drinks. We sell hookahs and we rent them out. So if you want to have a nice time and smoke your nice hookah, come on down to Nano's Cajun Cuisine and Pastries and have a wonderful time. We will entertain you and we will treat you with happiness and joy. And by the way, on our first and third Saturdays, we always have a block party on Bayou Road. Come and check us out from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Marking 20 years since Hurricane Katrina.
Tell me what would happen if today was the last time you heard that drum beat or that trumpet blow. For those who struggle to get out and those who still struggle to get back, you are welcome to this place called home. If you remember, come home.
Share your story. Support the work. August 24th through 31st. A series of cultural, educational, and healing events. Visit katrina20.org to learn more.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This week marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina. New Schools for New Orleans honors the strength of our city, our educators, and our students. Join us as we reflect, celebrate progress, and recommit to ensuring each child in New Orleans thrives.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program here as we commemorate 20 years of Hurricane Katrina. Who is the best person to tell us about all the stuff that you heard about and get the truth out? The former mayor of New Orleans joining us by phone today, Mayor C. Ray Nagin. How you doing again, sir?
Gee, it's all good, man.
Good.
It's all good in the hood.
You had a opportunity to tell folks several different times during this catastrophe, whether you heard people say, I want to come home, I want to come back, I want to come back. How hard was that to tell people, not right now? We want you to come back, but not right now.
Well, it was tough, man. I got out on the plane as best I could because the airport was still not working. But as soon as we could, I got out and I started to go out to visit the diaspora, the people that were spread out over 44 different states, just to give them updates on what was the status of the city. How were we getting ready to move forward, the dewatering, and then the cleanup process, and to give them some idea of when they could come back. And, some people took it well, and others were, just they wanted to come back home, man.
Right.
And then you had all the noise out there about, well, we don't want certain people to come back, and we want moratoriums on where you can rebuild and all that. And we're going to turn the Lower Ninth Ward into a golf course and all that foolishness.
Right.
So I really had to make a serious effort to get out there and tell people that what they were hearing wasn't the truth and that they had a right to return. That was one of the principles that I stood by. Mm-hmm. Everyone had a right to return home to the city of New Orleans.
I remember that. That was I ain't gonna say not a code word or anything of that sort, a code sentence, but it was telling people, I'm not going to be the one to tell you not to come back. You have the right to do so.
Yeah, you make your own decision. I mean, it was going to be tough. Right. I mean, you were coming back to a city that was 80% damaged and 80% flooded. We had a tremendous amount of work to do, so you had to have a good mind to work. Mm-hmm. And thank God most people came back and helped to rebuild.
I went on one of the websites to see your conversation piece with the congregation of one of the churches this past weekend.
Uh-huh.
Can you discuss some of that with us and what that entailed? Because you said some very valuable things that not even I had heard. And
Well,
I feel
like
like I'm one
like
of
I
the
said,
ones in
man.
the know, because I always got a chance to sit down and talk to you, but I felt like I was not in the know. I was like, wait a minute there, man, I ain't know that.
Well, I mean, it was like I said, that came together at the last minute. I think I had like a week or something before I
But it was
actually
so good. It was so
presented.
good.
Well,
But
I just wanted to tell the story from the beginning to the end, if you will.
mhm,
And I started out by reminding people that, this is my first time being in public office. But we got in, we did some things, we got 37,000 people off the poverty road, got the economy going in a good direction, and things were, humming along. And then Katrina hit.
mhm,
And then Katrina was a really devastating storm. She was a Category 5 in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico with waves as high as 50 feet. When she hit the city, she had waves as high as 20 to 25 feet, but the problem was our levees were only 12 to 13 feet high. So we had breaches of the levee system. And then the city's bowls started to fill up, as everybody knows. And it was chaos, man. It was
mhm.
absolutely something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And then the spin started to happen. The
Right,
well-dressed lies, as I said at the church.
right.
And the governor and the senator and the head of FEMA came down after we were suffering for a couple of days, and they left and had a press conference in Baton Rouge and started telling people that there's no problem here. We got everything under control. Nobody's dying, blah, 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 which was a doggone lie.
Right.
And because previously, before the storm actually hit, they had ordered 10,000 body bags.
Good grief.
Yeah. So, and then as time went on, things just started to get progressively worse. The Superdome filled up with 30,000 people. We didn't have enough space for the people who were being rescued. As a matter of fact, folk were coming from other parishes being rescued and dropped them off in New Orleans. So we had to kind of confiscate the convention center. We didn't have a key, so we had to kind of break in the best way we could,
Right.
and we started to take people in. Then it still progressively got bad, and people wanted to walk out because they felt as though the governor wasn't reacting quick enough,
Mhm.
and they walked across the Crescent City connection, and on the other side, the Gretna police met them with machine guns and police dogs.
Well, that's one of the
And
questions I had for Chief Warren Riley. I said, we
well,
heard
I
that
heard
story.
him yesterday, and he said something I didn't know about. He said they also blocked Airline Highway.
I didn't know that either. Airline Highway
Yeah.
and also Judge Perez going into Chalmette. They
So
blocked Airline
in a
Highway with old vehicles or machinery, and the other one was blocked with old cars.
And that just blows my mind, man. We were trapped.
Yep.
And instead of our neighbors helping us out, they were working against us, and their people were being evacuated into New Orleans for safekeeping. And we didn't have enough water or food for the people we already had, but we took everybody who came in.
Mm.
So it was just horrific, man.
Well, was
And
there
then
any explanation at any time from any of the officials on why they wanted to block us in or block us out and not let? Because I can remember many people talking about getting ready to walk across the Crescent City connection, and they were met with those police officers blocking the road.
nobody really explained why they felt that way. I think I heard one or two of them say something about they were concerned about people going into their neighborhoods and taking stuff, but people were desperate, man. They were just trying to find food and water and try and get some help, man. And, it just was a terrible time, and
Mm.
people acted really bad when they should have been trying to help us out.
What about that green dotting? Because one of the folks that I know that was one of the warriors about not getting that green dot on location, which was New Orleans East, was Cynthia Willett Lewis. They said
Yep.
that she gave them hell.
Yep, and she did, and a lot of people gave him hell for that. I had put together that commission. I had handpicked all those people, but we were doing so many things simultaneously that when it came to present to the public, I didn't get a chance to get briefed on that stuff. So they had a national consultant. I forget, he was from urban planning or somewhere, and this was kind of his thing. We should turn some neighborhoods into green space and not rebuild them. And when I saw that, I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
We're going to rebuild this city in total, and we're not going to turn anybody's neighborhood into green space. And so, along with that, they were saying, well, let's have a moratorium on people being able to build in certain parts of Gentilly and the lower Ninth Ward. And I was like, how can you say that when people in Plaquemines and St. Bernard were at lower elevations than New Orleans, but nobody was talking about turning their neighborhoods into green space? Half of Lakeview is in lower elevation than the lower Ninth Ward, and nobody surely was talking about turning that into green space.
Right.
So it just didn't make sense, man. It just was people trying to take advantage of a bad situation and turn it to their advantage, I guess, for money or whatever. And I rejected it.
Well, let's go a little bit further into this rejection. do you think that some of the decisions that you made, the powers that be, I'll put it that way, then turned on you, and then here comes the Chocolate City speech?
Yes.
And
There's no doubt
and
about it.
I want you to hear this from me, and I bet you my audience feels the same way. I hope you don't regret that speech.
I don't.
Okay, good.
I don't. And look, here's what the setup to that is. After we got everybody evacuated, the last bus left the convention center 7 days after the storm. The last person was evacuated. I then turned my attention to the first responders. Some of them were really stressed and, at their limit. And we got them physical and psychological evaluations and then arranged for them to go on vacation with their family for a week.
Wow.
All right. So after that was taken care of, I went to visit my family in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call from some business leaders that said, hey, we want to meet with you. And so we get to this meeting.
Was this the infamous meeting in Dallas?
This was a meeting in Dallas.
Okay.
So they started with, how they wanted to see the city. They wanted a moratorium on when people could come back, and they didn't want as many poor people and blah, blah, blah. And I rejected that too. I said, look, I'm not interested in doing the city, building the city back to be the New Orleans of 1820, but I'm more interested in building the New Orleans of 2050. Mm-hmm. And boy, that didn't go over well with them. And they were talking to the national media, the Wall Street Journal, and all these people telling them the same madness. So after I rejected that, I'm sure they had a meeting after the meeting, which I wasn't invited to, and then all hell broke loose.
Because this meeting, they said it was you, Derek Shepard, what's his name from Energy? He passed, God rest his soul.
Dan Packard.
Dan Packard. And I don't know if there was anybody else there, but it seemed to me that all three of you all were then under some type of pointing of the fingers.
Well, yeah, you know how that is, man. And, then they started, after the meeting, I'm sure it started with all the problems I started having. Mm-hmm. And then, after a little bit later, the Chocolate City speech hit. And, that just took it to a whole nother level. And then, the TP and some others, they started doing their little so-called investigative work.
Right.
And then one thing led to another, man, and you know how they can do it.
Because honestly, today, I know it's 20 years later, just about, with all of that other stuff that happened with you, I still have folks that ask me, and they're pretty sincere when they ask, what did he do?
Look, man, the thing about that is that, which I find absolutely amazing, is that, you know, they didn't show where I had put my finger on the scale to tip anything anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And all that work that the main work that they talked about was public bid work. That was sealed public bid work that came in, and was open in public. And they had a governor in, I think it was in Virginia, who had the exact same thing come at him, and he got all that stuff thrown out. And then there was I think a councilman in New York, same thing. He got all that thrown out. But man, they were hell bent on getting me.
And I was sitting up there doing the comparison because at that time, was it Bobby Jindal, who was the governor, had hired the same contractor that was doing the cameras for the city to put those same cameras at the Crescent City Connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bid that the man had won, the same guy, and he didn't do it. But nobody went after Bobby Jindal at all.
Hey, man, you know what else is the bigger trip than that?
What's that?
How was the road home contract that the state let, how was that awarded?
Nobody knows. All three
Nobody
was
knows.
It two or three different companies?
And that was like $1 billion contract.
And does that also include the lifting of your home?
Probably. I mean, it's just so unfair how they do things, man. And that's why I made the comments about the current mayor situation, because I have history with these folks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the number 3 person was blogging and telling people to come to my house with their guns.
Yes.
From all the other stuff that they did. So I just don't trust that this is a fair. Now, look, don't get me wrong. If the current mayor did something wrong, which I don't know if she did or not, then she should be held accountable. But the USA Today article that I read was kind of mocking, saying the mayor of New Orleans is indicted for a so-called alleged affair.
Right.
And I'm like, come on, man. 3 months before the next election?
But you had U.S. attorneys blogging and writing letters to the TP and other newspapers nationally, and one in D.C. writing letters back and writing stories using what were they using? They were using, of course, anonymous names that and they thought nobody could find out, but they messed with Mr. Hebe.
And look, that's why I'm skeptical about what they're doing today.
Right.
Well,
Mr. Hebe had more money than God, so he hired he hired the guy that was the Unabomber. He found the Unabomber,
and they got off him.
Yep. Hadn't heard one thing since.
But what to me was absolutely another thing that blew my mind about that time and space is that some of the federal judges down on Poydras, they commissioned an investigation, and they came out and wrote a scathing report that said the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Orleans was practicing grotesque prosecutory misconduct.
Right.
And it wasn't just one; it was like 2 or 3.
Yep.
So, but make a long story short, I hope they're doing better than they did in the past, but I'm just skeptical.
You better be. and I think that all of us are, and we keep seeing it with, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. It seems to be real vocal and focused whenever there's some black leadership.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I went and looked at black elected mayors from Dutch Montreal to present. And guess what the common theme is?
Indicted?
No, there's just, maybe they were the first to do this or they're first to do that or they have a current job that's good, but no real accomplishments when they were in office.
Hmm.
But guess what? There's one that got pages and pages of accomplishments.
I wonder who that could be. I wonder. Let me see. Do I know him? But those
I think you do.
accomplishments, I still think that no matter what you do, they're gonna try to rewrite history.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. But, God bless them, man. It is what it is, and we just got to stay awake.
Yeah.
And the thing that touched me about my reelection campaign is that people didn't listen to the crap.
Nope. And you still
I
won.
mean, they were aware of it, but they didn't listen to it, and they knew something was up.
Yep.
And I would meet with certain people, and they would hug. How we always give
Oh,
them
we got
dap
to
and
give you
hug and
love. We
come
got to give you
close.
some love. Got to give you some love.
Yeah, but then they would whisper in my ear and say, "Man, we got you.
We got you. We know what's going on.
Don't worry about it.
We see
We
what's
got
going
you."
on.
So hopefully people are paying attention these days, and they're going to do something similar, because the thing that the folk in power that didn't like the most about me was that people didn't listen to them during the re-election run that I had.
Yeah.
And they voted their conscience, and they didn't let them be bamboozled.
Right.
And I hope that this next election, people are going to wake up and do something similar.
All right. Mr. Mayor, hold on one more time here. We got to take another break.
You got it.
I know a lot of folks are hanging on to talk to you, too, because I want them to get their chance to
All
have
right,
a conversation.
you got it, bro.
Hold on 1 minute. More coming up
All
with
right.
former mayor of New Orleans, C. Ray Nagin's on the phone with us. We'll talk to him next.
Hey y'all, it's Chef Bunny, and I'm the host of the new show, The Roo, where we will be discussing all things food and NOLA. You can catch me live on air beginning February 1st at 12:30 p.m., so check out what we'll be cooking up on WBOK 1230 a.m.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Got unpaid parking or camera tickets in New Orleans? Here's some good news. Through August 31st, you can take care of them without paying late fees. That's money back in your pocket. Just go to NOLA.gov/no late fees to see what you owe. You can pay all at once or sign up for a payment plan and break it into monthly payments at no extra cost. That's NOLA.gov/no late fees. NOLA.gov/no late fees. Don't miss out. This offer ends August 31st.
Uptown, downtown, wherever you are, keep it locked in to WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our guest today, as we commemorate this 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, the former mayor of New Orleans, C. Ray Nagin's on the phone with us, and Mr. Galloway.
Good morning, Gerard. Good morning. Good afternoon, Gerard, and good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
All right, brother. I was calling in, and Brother Gerard stole my thunder. I was hoping that you did not ever regret calling New Orleans Chocolate City. And thank you for saying that.
I can't regret that, man. I mean,
That's
New Orleans
right.
has been a majority black city for, so many
Since
years.
1699. Let's go ahead and say it. 1699. We've been majority black. So now I'm going to put that out there. My question is, and I know you was out of office, but the state of Louisiana received $76 billion after Katrina. $53 million went to HUD, $53 million went over here. And you can go through New Orleans right now. And I'm not afraid to say it. Helena Moreno, who's running for mayor. New Orleans still looks just like Katrina hit it over there in the east in certain parts. And my point saying this is, thank you for speaking out about the mayor's race. People better wake up. I tell Brother Gerard all the time, I live out here in East Austin. I still own my home in the Treme, and I still vote in Orleans Parish. They are willing to take everything from you, and they don't care. And they will smile in your face while you're doing it and get mad at you because you ain't helping her take it from you. That's all I had to say, Gerard, man. Y'all have a good one, brother.
All right, Galloway. Appreciate you much, man.
All right.
I think that's a good point he's bringing. I mean, I think people need to ask the question, what did you do when the money was being held up? How did you help that money to start flowing to the city?
I was thinking about it, too. I was like, we're at 20 years, and I'm seeing all these ads that are running and different people saying different things, but I do have to ask the question. You're telling me what you're going to do in the future, but what have you done in the past to make me believe that you're going to do these things in the future?
Hello. That's the key question to me.
Because that sounds
and then they tried to force an election with people spread out all over the country.
Yep.
And I would ask the question, what did you do? What was your position on that to allow people to come back and vote?
Let me ask you this question, because one of the things, too, if I had to say that you were the brainchild behind that, you actually put the word out, and the word was out nationally to people that there was an election getting ready to happen during this time after Katrina, but people were scattered all over the country, and people were riding buses. I mean, just regular trailways, Greyhound, whichever you want to call it, buses to come home to vote.
Absolutely.
How did that start?
Well, like I said earlier, man, I took, I don't know, it was 160-something trips between Washington and visiting people in the diaspora. And we were talking to them about the city, and we were talking to them about they were trying to push this election. And, they were paying attention, man, and they weren't going to let the city be taken over while they weren't there, and people were talking about not allowing them to come back. That's what really got them pissed off. So, hey, once that word got out, people started coming, man, and thank God they voted their conscience, and, we were able to rebuild the city. It still needs some work, but it's much better than it was when Katrina hit.
Yeah, one of your communication specialists, Leslie, is listening. She's all over my telephone. Tell my boss I said hello. So I just said I was going to get beat up later if I didn't say it. So
Tell Leslie I said hello.
Right.
And shout out to my Aunt Mona, whose 97th birthday is today. They told me I better shout her out today. So
yes,
I'm
indeed.
doing that.
She listening too. All right. There you go. Let's see. Let's go to Houston now because Dr. Sanyika is holding on. Dr. Sanyika?
Oh, my God.
Mr. Mayor.
What's going on with you, man?
Well, I'm still here. I'm not in New Orleans because I just buried a son of mine not very long ago, and so I'm still going through recovery from that. And so my wife and I are here in H-Town, but I heard that you were going to be on the show, and I just cleared everything out to make sure that I got a chance to say hello to you. Hello, how
Appreciate
do, man?
I am doing, man. Life is okay, man. We still have our struggles every now and then, but, for the most part, we keep moving forward, man. God is good. I can't complain too much.
Well, I mean, your spirit sounds like, you have been able to keep your head while everybody else is losing theirs and blaming it on you, and still trust yourself when they all doubted you and made allowance for their doubting too. You come back strong from the mess.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear you doing okay,
Brian.
My condolences to you and your son, man. I can't imagine
Thank you for that. Yeah. I still have a copy of Katrina's Secrets,
Okay.
You still got a copy
I
of that?
can share some of that at the church this weekend, and we definitely had some people's attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, we have not made it back to New Orleans, but I say to everybody, I reside in Houston, but I'm a citizen of New Orleans and always will be, and that will never change.
Amen.
Wherever I am,
brother.
I will always be a citizen of the city, but we're still residing here in H-Town. I mean, I'm retired from teaching at Texas Southern and Dillard and all that good stuff. People still remember when you came, when we got you here. If you remember when we asked you and your wife to come, and you graciously did. And
man,
people
nigga, you
still
thought about
remember
going on
that.
a speaking tour? I can almost guarantee you that people try to be booking you all over the world.
Man, I don't know, man. It took a lot for me to get to put that little talk together at the church, man. It's just, Katrina is
well,
something,
I'll tell
man.
you what, Mr. Mayor, if you decide that you are, please put us on your schedule, and we'll try to make something work here if you decide to do that. But that take your time and make up your mind when and if you want to do it. But Houston is a place that has had almost as many hurricanes as New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they've had very, very bad flooding here. There's been a lot of disaster here, and a lot of need for disaster management, and of course, they go through these constant cycles. And people from Houston sometimes go to New Orleans, and New Orleans people come to Houston to get away from the storms. But I think it would be of interest to have you revisit and retrace this city, and also, I keep in touch with Blakely sometimes.
All right.
Yeah. He's still in Australia, and he's doing well, and he communicates. He has a radio talk show that he does, and he communicates with me, and so we stay in touch for a little bit, and I'll let him know that I have had the chance to say hello to you. But it would be real
I haven't
good
hollered
to,
at him in a minute. I'm glad you brought his name up.
Yeah. He was one of those people. He did. You let him do whatever he could do, and he did what he could do, and it was time for him to move on, and he moved on too. But he's one of those contributors that we remember.
No
but for sure, Mr. Mayor, history has proven that you made the right decisions by declaring the right to return. We in the African American Leadership Project had done that Citizens Bill of Rights, and the first thing in it was the right to return. Was our inherent right, our natural right as internally displaced people. And when you said that, that's where you stood, that is what I think was the difference maker. That changed the whole equation. I never forget that press conference we had that afternoon, right on the steps of City Hall, and when we declared, where we were in relationship to you and your reelection. It was historic. But that right to return went around the world, and it was picked up everywhere in the world, and people still remember from disasters the right to return as inherent. And so, that was something that you did that you can always remember and be thankful that you did, because it was the right decision, and history has already proven that. So no matter whatever else happened, you made the right call, man.
Yeah,
you made the right call.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Dr. Sanyika, let me get this done, because I got to get all these folks that's hanging on to try to talk to the mayor here. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to try to hold you for 4 hours. So.
Absolutely. Well, I know that this is not the conversation I'd like to have with you when I can sit down with you in person, but at least I wanted the chance to say hello to you and let you know that I love you, that I've been thinking about you a whole lot, and I ask G all the time, where is he at? When's he coming? When can I say hello? And when he announced you would be on today, I knew I had to stop everything I was doing to be able to say that it's so good to hear your voice, to hear the healthy spirit that you carry, the love that you still have, the clarity that you bring, is important. So we still need you in public life in some way, and so I want you to think about that. And when I get another chance, I'll see if I can get your number from G, and perhaps have a chance to talk to you.
You got it. And if I come by way of Houston, I'm going to look you up, man. We'll get together and break bread.
Oh, absolutely, man. We're going to make sure of that. Well, I'll get your digits from G, and we'll talk some more.
All right.
All right,
good,
well,
thank you, Mr. Mayor, for who you are and what you've done, and history has absolved you. Peace and love to your wife.
All right, Dr. Sanyika. Thank you, sir. All right, Mayor, hold on one more time. We got to do a little news here. I'm coming right back. And Jawad, you coming up next. Do it. All right, more coming up. Jawad, you up next right here on WBOK.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams says 1,000 new officers will patrol the Bronx this weekend after a string of shootings. He also plans to work with gang leaders.
We're going to reach out to the notable gang members and see if we can sit down around the table and talk about how do we end this violence.
Adams spoke at Haffen Park, where a mass shooting at a basketball game left 1 dead and 3 injured. Alabama is appealing a federal judge's order to redraw state Senate lines in Montgomery County. Judge Anna Manasco ruled the maps violate the Voting Rights Act and require a new majority black district before the 2026 elections. And Michael Vick is still searching for his first win as HBCU Norfolk State's head coach. In his debut, the Spartans fell to Towson 27-7 after a close game into the fourth quarter. Norfolk State hosts Virginia State on September 6th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, right back at you. That's what we do. We get right back at you. As we commemorate today, a lot of things changed in New Orleans after this day. Hurricane Katrina, 20 years. The mayor of that time, C. Ray Nagin, who's on the phone with us.
Yep.
And we appreciate everything that you did for us, too, Mayor Nagin, because you're still the hero, whether they tell you that a whole lot or not. You're still the hero.
Probably not.
Nah, they say it. They just don't say it to the people that got the microphone. That's what
I can see that.
Yeah.
They got to keep the facade up.
There you go.
The false
right,
narrative.
Let's go to Jawad, who has been hanging on. Jawad, what's up, Big Money?
Hey, man, what you say, Big G?
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, no, man, you got it going on. I won't be like you.
Ain't no need for both of us to be broke.
It is with such great pleasure, Mr. Mayor, Brother Mayor, that I'm getting the opportunity to speak with you. G has kind of kept us apprised of your movement and the things that you were doing. But the first thing I want to do is say, man, I wish you and your family well, and I hope you guys are doing, good, because you and your family really represented this city very well.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the things that you've done for some of us who are in business, because you gave our organization, we had a contract under your administration, Mark's administration, and it was TSAP, the Electronic Monitoring Company. And you saw the need for that, just like you saw the need for other African Americans to get contract with the city. So we can never give you enough thanks for those things that you've done for us and our families and the people who worked with us to make things happen good for the city. Now, we have to chronicle our history in this city, and I'm talking about African Americans. And we have to tell the world the truth, what happened here at Katrina, and the good things that were accomplished under your leadership. Some of these things, man, the average person would have tucked their tail and ran.
Yeah.
But you stayed right there steadfast. And the other folks, man, who were with you, they followed your guidance. And good things happened for folks here, even though a lot of folks got displaced and a lot of people had to lost property.
Yeah.
But you guys really, really stood strong in support of the city, and especially the community of African Americans. So we could just, man, I'm telling you, we're going to sing your praise, man.
Thank you.
We're going to see if we can come back and run again.
And, just hang in there, man, and we like to see you on a speaking tour somewhere so you can at least get the truth out there. So,
yeah, that's important, bro.
Good wishes to you, man, and your family again, and keep strong, and we look to see better things from you in the future.
Yes,
I
indeed.
appreciate you, brother, and you take care, okay? Take care of your family.
All right, Jawad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, G.
Talk to you later, brother.
Okay, man. Be good.
Man, Nagin, talk to me about that. How important what Jawad just brought up? It was because you were one of the, I would say one of the ones that pioneered something, and I kind of want you to describe what that was like when you were looking at these garbage contracts, because whether you believe it or not, that seems to be the talk of the town here now. And I never thought that we would have to revisit who got a contract, who don't have a contract, who's the best for it, who ain't. And the same thing is happening to Troy Henry now.
Man, G, it's something about New Orleans is an absolutely great city, but it's a city that's steeped in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain folk that are just overly greedy and want everything. So when we got in office, there was DBE programs, and people were getting 20, 30% of contracts, but they had to be subs underneath a primary. So one of the things we started to work on is to try and get some of those DBEs up to 50% at least.
Mm-hmm.
So after Katrina, the garbage contracts came up, and we decided to bid it at 50% to kind of force the hand of some of those folk that had been eating for so long. And they balked. As a matter of fact, they conspired and didn't bid on the contracts. So we had two minority contractors that had already been doing the work, Jimmy and Mr. Richards. And so when they balked, I said, hey, man, y'all ought to take the whole thing. And then they had to get a bond. The bonding companies, the majority companies, called around and talked to the bonding companies so they couldn't get a bond.
Wow. So they
blocked them.
Blocking them.
Yes, they blocked them. And Jimmy and Mr. Richards, one of them went and got a certified check to meet the bid requirements, and the other one got a bond, I think, from Chicago or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they got those contracts. And it was for every part of the city, I think, except for the French Quarter.
Right.
And they held on to that for a long time, and now we've come full circle.
But it was automatically so much rhetoric from the outsiders. The officials that I considered still outsiders, and even bringing in the inspector general to make the naysayers sound like that they had such governmental experience that this was the wrong way to go. But Jimmy and Alvin cleaned the city when they weren't even supposed to be.
Man, those guys knew what they were doing. They were more than qualified. But, to step up from being a 25 to 35% participant in that contract to being 100%, I guess some people saw that as a threat. But it was garbage contracts.
Mm-hmm.
It was big garbage contracts, don't get me wrong. But come on, man. And that's part of the thing about New Orleans. If we could ever get people to really consider equity in economics,
well,
I think the city would take over.
That's the problem. So somebody learned in the process, when you have two African Americans that can play with the big boys, that have these contracts, that not only were they making that type of money, but that money that they were making also became political money, because they opened up the well of folks that wanted to run, that looked like me and you, to go to them to try to get their money to use to run for office. So not only do you have two African Americans now that have millions of dollars, you also have African Americans that have political power or be able to gain political power. That
was kind of scary to some folks.
I think the gaining the political power was more scarier than them having money.
Man, we got this is 2025. Come on, man.
And the city of New Orleans, I kind of want you to confirm this with me though, But I was worried about how many folks are going to be sitting there just worried about these garbage contracts. But these contracts are not the biggest contracts in the city.
No, but they're nice contracts. Don't get me
Oh
wrong. I
yeah, they're
mean,
nice, but they ain't the biggest ones.
no, but and they don't. Maybe that's the thought that if you did that one contract like that, that some other ones were coming behind it. And there was a potential for that because after Katrina, man, there was so much work out there that we everybody who could work got work,
right?
And we even had to recruit people from out of the city to come in and do some of this work. So it was an opportunity for people to really make money, and some did. And I guess that was scary for some folks.
And I just think that this city has so much hurt in it because of poverty. And when you give somebody the opportunity to take themselves, like they say, by the bootstraps and lift themselves up to be able to do the work, you can't have it both ways. Do you want them to lift themselves up, or do you want them to be in poverty? Which one is it?
Well, I think they don't care about the poverty as much as long as their bank accounts are being stuffed.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
What do you see, and what do you see as you look at this city? Because you still have a lot of friends, a lot of family here, and I know you're paying attention. What do you see for the future?
Well, I mean, I see some concerning trends, man. That I'll start with that. I mean, you've got the White House now talking about sending troops to Washington, D.C., and sending troops to Chicago. And how long before you think they're going to be sending troops to New Orleans? Especially with the states sending their National Guards up there as a precursor.
135 of them.
So I'm a little worried about that. I'm also worried about the cost of living in the city. I mean, the utility costs, it's kind of seems to me like I was talking to a sister who's like into the demographics, and she's saying that a lot of black folks are moving out of the city to the suburbs.
Yes. Can't afford
because
to stay here.
it's cheaper.
Yep.
So I think that there needs to be some focus from the next mayor on cost of living and how to deal with that. The city budget, I think when I was in office, was probably, I don't know, I don't remember correctly, but it was less than $1 billion. Now it's $1.8 billion.
Yep.
Where is that going?
And we got less people here than before you left. So you got less people in this city, but a higher cost of the city budget. You got less police.
There should be a way to right size the city budget to come in line with the population.
Yep.
I would take a look at all the bonds. Are there any bonds that could be refinanced to lower property taxes? There's a lot that can be done, and I really haven't paid that close attention to the mayor's race, but I don't get the sense from talking to people that they're really talking about any specifics like this. And I think the citizens need to demand answers on this stuff. The culture of the city is still, to me, still good. And I'm very pleased about that and happy about that. The second line, the Mardi Gras, all that stuff, it makes New Orleans unique. The French Quarter, all that is still intact. So we still have great potential. We just need to be focused, and we need to be unified, and we need to get away from this, we're only going to benefit certain sections of the city. It needs to be about the whole city growing together.
Right. When you were putting together these contracts, I'm going back to the contracts for a minute. These contracts for trash and for the French Quarter, were they every day? Was that everyday cleaning?
In the French Quarter, it was.
It was? Okay.
I mean, you remember the lemony, fresh-smelling
I did not know with a lot of other people that it was everyday cleaning. Now, I know that you got a lot of people that go into that area probably needed to be done more than once, but a lot of people feeling like they've been left behind when it came to the number of times that they got their trash picked up. And I was
Now,
wondering because I
trash
know you had twice.
pickup is a little different.
Yeah, you were
I
you were
mean,
at least twice a
they
week.
were supposed to be 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
And I think now it's down to 1 time, right?
Yep. Everywhere except the French Quarter. And 80% more.
Like I said earlier, I mean, how can a city with a budget of $1.8 billion reduce services?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense to me.
Yeah. Somebody need to ask for an audit of where the money going.
That would be a good idea.
So that'd be interesting. The information that a lot of people got during Hurricane Katrina, after Hurricane Katrina, about their neighborhoods, because I was back here during that time too, working on hazmat cleanup, and a lot of the people were texting me saying, "Can you just go by this address and tell me if my house is still standing, what it looked like, send me a picture, something of that sort." I think that was important too. A lot of communication during that time. I think that's when we all started learning how to text, because you still couldn't get a call in because of the services down. Why does this city not have, I guess, competition when it comes to services? We have one cable company. We have one power company. Is that something to do with the home rule charter?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the telephone company, I remember looking into this when I was in office. One of the previous mayors had signed an agreement with them that pretty much set the tax that they would pay, and that pretty much guaranteed they wouldn't have any competition. So there was not a lot. I don't know if that agreement has expired yet, but that's something worth looking at. As far as the cable company is concerned, it's something that they compete against the wireless people, the satellite companies. So, but they invest so much money into building out their cable plant that it's tough for another company to come in there and compete with them directly. So they have to figure out a different way of doing it. And with everything going to streaming now, you have multiple ways of getting entertainment and getting your message out. So but the phone company is a different animal, man. There's a contract sitting out there somewhere that allows them to do what they're doing.
Wow. Yeah, I know a lot of folks are looking for some relief because power bills and the cable companies and all of this other stuff, which we also regulate here. They all look at it and say that this is something that we don't see any decrease. We keep seeing increases. So it made me ask the question, and the reason why I'm asking you this question, I think a lot of folks, since we're the regulators, are looking at this and saying, what are we doing with our elected officials that are supposed to be the regulators of our own resources that are making them say, okay, you can raise your rates, and how does that work?
Well, because Entergy is a regulated monopoly, that's what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
They have a guaranteed rate of return, I think, of 12%. So any investments that they do, they automatically going to get 12% on top of that.
So that's kind of strange, huh? They get 12% on top of it?
On top of it. And see, I'm living in Texas right now as I come back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But Texas allows you to choose the provider that you want based upon the rates that they charge.
Right. Because when I moved to Missouri City, people came knocking on the door, like, which one you want? They had a portfolio that you could choose.
So maybe that's something else that America look into, the next mayor, and see if that could cut some of the utility costs that people are paying.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Mayor, one more time here. Let me take this break here because my producer's telling me you got to play some commercials. We'll be back. Get the last one.
All right.
All right, more coming up, y'all. With former Mayor C. Ray Nagin coming up next.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Historically, it is difficult for people from underrepresented groups to raise money to launch businesses. Collab Capital is one firm that's working to connect marginalized communities with the funding and support they need to be successful. Jewel Burke-Solomon is managing partner at Collab Capital, and she spoke to Bloomberg about why investing in women and people of color is important.
Folks who are in the margins, if you will, they oftentimes have the best solutions to our most entrenched problems. The founders that we're finding, they oftentimes have the lived experience that leads them to the right solution, and they really just need the resources and backing and support to be able to build really scalable and successful companies. And that's what we're all about, is not just the capital that we're providing, but also the wraparound services, the fact that we've been entrepreneurs before, we've done it.
Collab Capital's all-person of color founding team has over 20 years of entrepreneurial experience. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows tough jobs call for tougher tools. The new DeWalt Elite Series power tool accessories are built to last for the pro who doesn't stop. With precision fitment, durability, and impact resistance, finishing jobs faster has never been easier. Shop the new DeWalt Elite Series at an everyday low price exclusively at Lowe's. We help, you save.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Tired of the impersonal one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program here. Our guest today, the mayor, former mayor, I still call him Mr. Mayor, of New Orleans. C. Ray Nagin's on the phone with us. And WB, you online too. What you say?
Good afternoon, my brothers. How you doing, G? Mr. Nagin.
Good afternoon.
You know, I've been listening to y'all all day. Well, at least since you've been on, and I listen to WBOK faithfully every day, right? Mm-hmm. And I noticed that the narrative that WBOK spins is always completely opposite of what, I don't want to call it a radio station, but the FM station on the other side. You know, and I'm stay away from calling people's names, but y'all know who I'm talking about. They roasted Mr. Nagin the other day on the radio all day long. And Mr. Ray, I'm going to tell you the truth, bro. They made you look really bad. And I was like, I didn't appreciate that. And it's like true to everything else. When guests come on WBOK, it's one story. When guests get on other radio stations, it's another story. And like my grandmother says, there's always three sides. Mm-hmm. What you say, what I say, what really happened. But I don't appreciate them spinning the narrative so deeply. It kind of like keep the divide. It's like they, you know, Mr. Nagin, you know, you did your time. You paid your debt to society, whatever that looks like. And, you know, fair or unfair, they still want you to still be, if they want, they will send you back.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I just don't really appreciate that, right? But what I do appreciate is the fact that you sound strong, bro. You got sound mind, and you know everything seemed to be good. And I just want to, you know, just acknowledge you, you know, man to man, that you know, you still our guy. You know what I mean? But just to hear the other narrative, man, it made it look like he was like the ultimate crook. And I didn't appreciate that at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know how them folk are, man. They're going to spin things the way they think is best to try and maneuver the public to go in a certain direction. That's what they do.
Yeah, because like I noticed on three things, like with the trash contract, with the current stuff that Mayor Cantrell is going through, and every time it's something that's controversial, there's this side and that side, and they narrative. I mean, they're like the ultimate spin masters, and they must think people are stupid because when the guests come on WBOK, they set the record straight, and it's like, man, that's not what the other side is saying. So anyway, bro, I don't want to hold y'all up. I want to continue to just hear what you have to offer, but I just wanted to put that out there, man. Peace and love. Appreciate the show, G.
I appreciate
and I'll
you.
keep in touch.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Let me say something about that too, though, Mayor Nagin. One of the things too that I have to agree with WB is that they do. They make it sound like you're a boogeyman almost, and that ain't just you. That's anybody that they disagree with. And the number one thing that I would use against them in any time is not only the fact of them disagreeing with or trying to set a narrative on a story and make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world, but they haven't done that to the president, who's 34 counts indicted. Have you ever?
Hello?
Do you know anybody or ever had anybody that was 34 counts indicted and a leader that they ain't talking about and saying anything bad about?
No, but that's their guy because they think like him.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to support him come heck or high water, but I think that support is going to dwindle at some point.
Well, you know, when it starts happening to them, when they start going to the child lines or using food stamps, or they can't afford their utility bills and they got to stand in line at any place where they can get help to get it paid, it'll start hitting them.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, hey, that big, beautiful bill is getting ready to hit.
Yep. I think it's starting to hit now. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. If you take a minute, though, Mr. Mayor, and think about, and I love to hear some of those times where you sit down and have that talk with God, because I know you are a holy man, religious man. But when you have those talks with him about what you went through, because if anybody can ever tell me anything, you know, as strong as you are, because you had to support your family, and you had to deal with a bunch of folks that had it out for you. How did you keep sanity in the top?
Well, you know, it wasn't easy, man. You know, I stayed prayed up and in my Bible, and I have a great wife who, you know, supports me, and my family supports me, and, you know, friends. And then, you know, I knew the truth, man. So I leaned on the truth a lot. And that kept me moving forward as I'm doing today. But I'm not surprised that, you know, people are saying this and that and, you know, negative stuff every time I surface. I kind of knew that if I came out and said something that, you know, there was going to be that reaction from them. They're so predictable. But, you know, it is what it is, man. And anybody that says, you know, I should be, you know, still in prison or whatever. Look, man, I was in the system for about 10 years, man, under their control. And I did everything the judge asked me to do,
and then
or demanded that
back,
I do.
And then they came back to ask for some more relief of the money.
And you know what?
I never heard
I
of that.
was doing what the judge asked. And
But
they
I have never, ever heard of them saying, this is how much you got to pay back. Here's what you got to pay a month. And then come back and change it.
And, gee, let me tell you something about that. The restitution that they gave me has nothing to do with paying back the city of New Orleans. It's paying IRS.
Huh?
Supposedly. Yes. It just blows my mind, this whole thing, man. But be that as may, I did the time.
Yeah.
I did everything that they asked me to do. And it seems as though it's still not enough, but that's on them. because I'm done with them.
What made you want to take this job? Because everybody talks about, oh, Ray had a great job. He used to be the best in his job before. And then here comes politics. Who talked you into getting into this rat trap?
You know what? That's a good question, man. It's something that just kind of hit me. I was watching the city and watching it kind of decline, and all the young people that were coming to college here, they were having to go other places, and I guess I just had a desire to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And, got in the race late, and one thing led to another. So, but once you are in it, then you just got to deal with it and go forward. So that's what we tried to do.
If you think about anything that you didn't get a chance to change on your agenda that you wanted to change here, what would that look like?
The big thing, I was hoping that we could somehow bring the city together more. And, it just seems like we're further divided than we ever were. I thought Hurricane Katrina, after that, people would have so much compassion for their neighbors that they would want to help out. But we caught hell trying to set up temporary living for people in certain neighborhoods. I remember a councilman even, lay down in the street in front of a bulldozer. It was just crazy, man. So the regret that I have is that we couldn't get the city to come together, regardless of race or income or whatever, to stay focused on making the city better.
I think, too, and I don't know if I can say this in all due seriousness, but I look at your administration, and I also looked at the city council at that time. It seemed if you wanted to go left, that others on that city council wanted to go right. And it made me ask the question, why do you want to go right when the mayor has come up with a solution to the problem that none of you all tried to solve until he opened his mouth and said something? My number one example to that is the Cox Cable building that you were looking at. Your administration had done even a whole, I don't want to say documentary, but put together a whole pitch on why you all should get that building for City Hall. Jackie Clarkson went all over media, all over radio saying, that's a great idea, that's a great idea. And the next day came back and said, nope, that's a bad idea. I was like, who got in her ear? And
it wasn't a Cox building. It was a building downtown.
Well, it wasn't a Cox building? Okay, I thought it was
no,
a Cox
no.
building, but I remember
it. At that time, City Hall was suffering from Hurricane Katrina damages, and there's all kind of stuff in that building, asbestos or whatever. And we found a great location. It had parking and everything you would want for a City Hall. And I thought everybody was on board.
Right.
But guess what happened?
As soon as you brought it out.
Well, that was part of it. But, we had a little meeting in my office, and some business people in the community thought that if we bought the building, we should turn over all the parking to them.
What?
So that they could make money off of the parking.
You kidding?
When I rejected that, the whole narrative changed.
It went away.
And the people that were supporting it, because this was their friends, they changed.
So they wanted to make money off of folks that's coming to pay bills, get licenses, permits, to do some type of meeting, go to City Hall, whatever, go to City Council meetings. They had to pay to park, and they wanted to make their money.
You got it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, hey, man, there's all kind of stuff. And that's why they really don't care for me too much, because I know where the bodies are buried. I was there when stuff was going down. And if I have to tell the truth, I'm going to tell the truth.
Right.
And that just don't sit well with them, especially some in the media.
You got frustrated with some of the stuff that was being said in the media, but it wasn't being said by those who didn't know. It was actually being said by those that were in the media. I'll never forget turning on my TV. I'm seeing you sitting in the studio at Channel 4, and you just basically let them know, I'm about to go out here in the parking lot with your news director. I was getting in my car.
Yes.
I was trying to sell tickets. I was just like, I was.
And they had a lady called in and said, "Look, I got an iron skillet you can
Yeah.
use on it."
but it's not fair. It's not fair because it sounds like they were a part of the conspiracy theories and putting out stuff and making
Oh,
other
yeah.
folks believe what they were saying, and it wasn't true.
I agree, man. But in the media, man, they are kind of powerful, man. They can make people who guilty seem not guilty, and vice versa. I mean, they can do that, and especially if they say it over and over and over again. And that's what they did. And they had a guy on there. I forget his name. He had bushy eyebrows or something. But he was getting my calendar, and he was publishing it, and it showed when I was picking up my daughter, and doing family stuff, and I was
Lee
like,
Zurich?
man, come on, bro.
Was that Lee Zurich?
I think that's him.
Yeah.
Did he move to another station or
he went to
something?
Fox 8. He went to Fox 8.
Yeah, he's one of them great investigators.
Yeah. But if you had to think about it, let me bring this up too, because I think that you have probably said some of the most profound things when it came to setting the record straight. But did they hear you? And that's the problem that I had because, like you said, they say it over and over and over and over again. You're going to believe it. And some of us would be believing it too.
Oh,
If you had to think about it again, would you say and stick by what you said anytime? I already heard you about Chocolate City.
Oh, yeah.
What about anything else? Anything that you'd like to take back, or anything that you would say, okay, I'm sticking by what I said.
Nah, man, I can't think of anything that if I told a lie, I would take that back. But for the most part, I was telling people what I saw, what I experienced, and what I knew. So don't get me wrong. I have always been pretty straightforward, and I guess controversy follows that if you're going to be telling the truth versus what somebody else's story they want it to be. If you're contrary to that, they're going to have a problem with it. But man, life is too short, man. So I don't look back and have regrets. I just try and move forward. I did what I did. The results came out the way they did, and I'm still going to be moving forward to try and, see if I can make things better, wherever I go. And that's kind of where I am.
Yeah. All right, that's your girl here. She definitely won't talk to you. Miss Roberta?
Hey, I've been calling the wrong number. I've been calling for hours, calling the number that WBOK and had Lee name on it. I said, what's going on? They closed down already?
Yes, indeed.
But let me say this, Ray, you will always be my mayor. We worked 8 years in this community with you, and you did a great job. And what happened to you, I really know how those folks lied on you, because I had a family member after Katrina was doing gutting out houses. And what happened to him, he got out all his houses, every one of them. And they came back and said, that he didn't do 4 of the houses. He didn't gut out 4 of the houses, $19,000, and they charged him with that. They said who did the other 4 houses. I went to this guy. He had owned a donut shop in Gretna on Berman Highway. I went to him, and I asked him, I said, you say me and a couple of lawyers went. And he said that, no, I did not tell them I gutted out the house. I told them that I had a client had left all her jewelry in her house, and I just made a way for the walkway to pass to get the lady jewelry out of it. When that told affairs, what he said, his name, he gave me his name, telephone number, and everything. They did not contact that man. They refused to contact that man. And so when he went to court, went to Atrick, and I'm calling names. When they went to him, he said, he called him up and he said, I want you to plead guilty for stealing money from 4 houses that you did not do. They was going to give him probation. He said, I cannot plead guilty because I did not steal anyone's money.
Right.
I could plead guilty to one thing, and that's poor bookkeeping. He told him, he said, go sit over there.
Well, he was supposed to take that. He was supposed to take the deal.
Huh?
He was supposed to take the deal then, right?
Yes, he was supposed to take the deal. That's when he went. But what he told, when he said he didn't do the housing, he took them people money, he couldn't plead guilty to that. He said, I can't do that, Judge. He said, I'm going to plead guilty for one thing. He said, and that's poor bookkeeping. And so the judge said, go sit down. Call the 2 lawyers up. And he looked at us and hit his watch. So I knew he meant I'm going to get time. And he gave him 6 months for saying he took $19,000. I'm a witness. I was there. Yeah. I knew all the houses. I had the people who had did the houses for him. Do you hear me? It was a Mexican guy brought him there. Oh yeah, we got that one. We got this. We paid him for it.
Man, Nagin, let me ask you this. You hear Mr. Roberta, what Mr. Roberta is saying, and I don't know if you want to discuss it or if you can answer it, but one of the things too that came back to us is the fact that they wanted you to plead, and you said I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not taking it. I'm not going to plead. But they were trying to convince you to plead so there would be less time. Am I wrong in saying that? If you would have pleaded, it would have been less time.
It was kind of tricky. I mean, they presented some kind of plea deal. I think they were going to reduce the counts to 1 or 2 counts or something. But when I looked at the plea agreement, it had all the charges that they had previously listed, the 23 or what it was. So I looked at it and I said, there's no way. First of all, I didn't do anything wrong. And then secondarily, if this gets before a judge, he or she is still going to probably send me away for a long time. So I said, nah, I'm not doing that. But while that was going on, they were threatening my family, my friends, associates, anybody they could get to make sure that they wouldn't testify on my behalf. They're low down, man. That's all I can tell you. They don't play a fair game.
And then there were the court records where we saw, and I think this was also put in the court records, the fact that these U.S. attorneys were writing in national papers. Sal Paratoni, Coney, or whatever his name is, a couple of others as well. They were all writing in national papers, including the Times-Picayune, and different character names about you.
Yep. Yeah, they were low down, man.
And about the cases.
Telling people they were leaking information that they shouldn't have. I mean, I told you that there was a couple of federal judges that said they were practicing grotesque prosecutorial misconduct on many cases.
And did not get prosecuted, but maybe taken their license. They should have got prosecuted.
That was it for a little while. I don't know if they took them permanently.
Nope.
But yeah, and a couple of them had to resign, but they still moved forward with my deal.
But nothing happened to Jim Litton.
No, I think he went and became a professor somewhere, didn't he?
Right. So I guess my question to anybody that will be listening to this program is, it seems that some folks that look like them get the golden parachute. But folks like us, we don't get no parachute. Jump and see if you can bounce. That's it.
Oh yeah. But, it's just amazing to me. They indicted the current mayor on the anniversary of a husband's death.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cruel.
That's just low down. Yeah,
that's cruel.
All right, Miss Roberta.
Let me finish. I'm not finished. You got a few minutes. I want to say this.
I got other folks holding on, so come on.
Me. I want to say this. When you ran, Ray, I don't know if you remember when you went into your second after Katrina and everything, a certain news reporter, he still is a political reporter, he got on the news and he said, oh, he couldn't win a dog fight this time. He running again. He can't. I remind him of that one day. I called him when he was, so what he said, that you won that dog fight. I want to tell you that. And with hardly no money.
Yes,
that was volunteer time. For you remember?
Yes, I do.
That was what you were talking about earlier about everybody. Everybody.
I
jumping
called
in.
it Bill Lake. That was volunteer time, and at 1 o'clock, I mean, you was doing a motorcade over in Algiers. And I mean, you motorcade, but you knew. I just couldn't understand how you knew. But 2 o'clock that day, you said, I don't want this. I don't want that. I said, you better get back out there and do some more motorcade. Yeah. And so I'm saying that there's no way I believe. You can't believe everything. People just believe everything that I'm getting so much stuff. Well, what they say this and what they say that, what they say this. And you can't believe all of that.
Yep.
Okay? You have to have your own thoughts and stop listening to what the press is saying. Because, what you call it, naked sex news? What you call it, man?
The well-dressed lies?
Well-dressed lies, and I followed you Sunday. I went to both churches. After I left the first church with you, I went got 2 cars full of people and brought them to the other one.
I know. I saw you.
They enjoyed any minute of it. You stay strong and move on, okay? Because this politics is nothing nice, baby. All right?
Yeah.
All right,
You're right, man.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Miss Roberta. God bless you. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
All right. Mayor, hold on one more time here before we get ready to get out.
You got it. You got it.
All right, more coming up, y'all.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. President Trump has revoked Secret Service protection for former Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, this is happening just before she heads out on a 15-city tour promoting her new book called 107 Days. Now, by law, vice presidents, they get 6 months of protection after leaving office, but former President Biden extended Harris's coverage to 18 months, which would have carried her into July of 2026. Well, it ends on Monday. The White House says Trump is just following the law, but the timing is suspect, especially as Harris prepares for her return to public stage. Now, Trump has done this before. Earlier, he yanked it from former head of security, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And back in March, he ended service for Biden's children, which Biden had extended before leaving office. For these stories and more, go to AURN.com or follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. A few minutes before we get out of here, I want to make sure we get in these last 2 calls. Mr. Harrell?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. Oh, it's good to hear the mayor. And I just wanted to be the caller from where the good people live. And there are a number of us here listening.
Mr. Nagin, he's in Los Angeles.
Say that again?
I was telling the mayor that you're in Los Angeles.
Right. So
okay.
anyway, he's so laid back. I like his delivery. I like him. So I don't know what to say, but I understand what he went through. I have a PhD in racism. I know what it's about.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
He got a PhD in racism.
So anyway, do you Judge? What was his name? General Honore. Where is he and what is he doing?
He's in Louisiana.
He's still around. I mean, he lives in, I think, right outside of Baton Rouge.
Yep.
He's very active. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's here this week. He was here early this week because he was on the program with you at Franklin Avenue. At Rock of Ages.
Yes, he was. So he's
Well,
around.
Mayor, I had to talk to you. You are better than you know, okay? And I know what you went through. I talked to our mayor Tuesday night, Karen Best, and I talked to her with some encouragement about what she's dealing with, racism. And you see the kind of crap that we have in the White House, and you can understand what goes on and what comes around. So anyway, you have the best and the rest of your life, and I appreciate you more and more. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Haroon. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Miss Sandra? Miss Sandra?
Yes, this is me. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go.
Okay, I'm fine. I just wanted to tell Mayor Nagin that I will always love him. He is a hero in my book. I don't care what these people say and what they didn't like about him, because he's a real man, a straight up man whose knees didn't buckle, who didn't scratch where he didn't itch, and none of that. I still have my picture. When I bought his book, I stood in the line. It was a line outside to buy the book, and I remember his wife and his sons bringing in the boxes of the book for us to purchase. And the last thing I'm going to say, what I really loved, one time Minister Farrakhan came to the city, and Mayor Nagin was sitting right in the audience, and I know they hated that because he sat there, he didn't look down, he looked straight in the eye, and I know they hated that, but you know what? That's too bad. We'll always love you, and thank you for everything you did for us, Mayor Nagin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those words.
Thank you, my dear. All right. Kim?
Hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ray, this is Kim. You might not know who I am, but I'm Aurelia's husband, who used to be your banker.
What do you mean I don't know who you are, man? Come on.
Ray, I just wanted to thank you, man, for everything you did during Katrina. I remember, if you remember correctly, you came to my classroom one time to speak to my kids, and when you left, of course, Jefferson Parish want to know why I invited the New Orleans mayor to come talk to Jefferson Parish School, and I told him because that's my mayor. And what you did with Katrina was awesome. And I just want to say thank you. Please keep in touch. And I heard from Aurelia that you said when you come back we were supposed to go out to dinner, so we still waiting for the invitation.
Well, I'm gonna have to keep that promise, bro. But they keep me pretty busy when I come in there. But we're gonna work it out.
Well, sneak in here, bro.
All right.
All right.
All right, Kim.
God bless you, man.
Thank you,
God
brother.
bless you, Kim.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Miss Anita?
Hey, just wanted to tell Mayor Nagin thank you for his service and job well done. And we're going to keep loving on you. And just keep your head up and keep your hands in God's hands.
Amen.
All right, Miss Anita. Thank you, my dear.
So
All right.
much.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it looked like everybody calling now to talk to you because they know you're getting ready to go off. They know you're getting ready to go off. But let me ask you this, man. If you had to do it all again, what would you do differently?
Whew, man, I don't know, man. It's it was a hell of a ride, G. I mean, everything was going great, and then Katrina hit, and all hell broke loose. I wish I could have got through to Governor Blanco a little bit more, to partner with her a little closer, but her and President Bush were not on the same page, so that was interesting. So I wish I could have gotten the president to agree to send the money directly to us and not through the state, where we wouldn't have had all those delays. But it's just a bunch, man. And I kind of wish that this whole episode wouldn't have negatively impacted my family, but it was all part of it. So,
are you still doing the books? Are the books still available?
Yeah, they're on Amazon. You can still get it on Amazon.
Katrina Secrets.
Katrina Secrets. Storms after the storm.
There you go. I tell anybody, if you can get it and read it. Because I said I was going to read, a little bit here, read a little bit there. I read that thing in like one sitting. and you got some pages in there, man. There's a whole bunch of stuff that was in there. And I just said to myself, as
anybody
my mouth
wants to know the truth, they can find it out, bro.
Yeah, it's very much. Listen, I'm not going to hold you. I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for what you did for the city.
Thank you.
Especially during the time of distress. I know that it wasn't an easy task. You had to deal with something different every single day. And I speak on behalf of the folks that are under the sound of my voice by saying thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you did. And you will always be native New Orleans #1 because you took care of a city when nobody else could.
Well, I thank you for that, and I thank you for what you're doing, because WBOK is one of the few places where people can get the other side of the story and get more of the truth. So keep doing that, man. Y'all doing God's work.
And this is an open microphone for you anytime you need it.
All right. Well, yeah, we can do something. We'll talk about that. See how often you want to.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you much.
All right. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate New Orleans. Y'all keep rolling. Pay attention.
Right.
Wake up.
Thank you, sir.
Wake up. All right, bro. Bye-bye.
Former Mayor Ray Nagin, man, and he did the whole show. He did the whole show. There you go. Thank everybody for tuning in. Memorial today, memorial of Hurricane Katrina. For those who didn't make it, and for those that didn't get a chance to come back home, we love you. All right, folks, y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station. WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.
you. Cause I know that a brother got needs tonight. Now I ain't tripping on your dancing just that time. But you gotta pay tonight.
Real fine, look good, I'm dead. I ain't worried about it, I ain't pressed about it. I'm shaking at the QT. Baby, I know that you want it, I'm a QT. He know I'm a grady baby and I get down. You be crying about it that I can't get from around me. Turned up, you a has-been. I can't worry about no from the past tense. I hope you can feel me when I say pay before you play with me. Wanna taste this, but it's priceless. It might be something you ain't never done before, but I'm not your ordinary.
Real bad, non-average, double tap it. So fine, make him spin that. This big cap, he with me cause I'm so fine. Wanna fall through, can't get off you. On my soul, you so fine. Come attack me, wanna trap me. I ain't let him cause he's so
I'll bite no bar. Yeah, you a dummy, I'm smart. Attitude stink, I'm an ocean, you a lake. Get the money early, all these running late. Real bad, ain't fake, ain't cheap. I know he in love, but it ain't that deep. I ain't got some money, it's a brand new me. Brand new bag, brand new G. I hope you can feel me when I say pay before you play with me. Wanna taste this, but it's priceless. It might be something you ain't never done before, but I'm not your ordinary.
real bad, non-average, double tap it. So fine, make him spin that. This big cap, he with me cause I'm so fine. Wanna fall through, can't get off you. On my soul, you so fine. Come attack me, wanna trap me. I ain't let him cause he's so fine.
Top tier, man.
DC in the blue.
Top tier, man.
Looking so damn cute.
Too cool, too bright, man.
Said she gonna need some cheese.
Yeah, all part, no bite.
If she gonna get with me.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Y'all pretty ladies around the world got a weird thing to show
Since I have met you, I can't do without your touch. I just love you much, too much. Maybe I'm jealous, can't help myself. Don't like to see you with anyone else. Since I've been with you, I can't seem to get enough. I just love you much, too much. Ooh, baby. Don't know what's come over me. I'm not the way I used to be. Oh, what is this feeling? Can't eat a bite. Work till I'm tired. Can't sleep at night. And since I have met you, I can't do without your touch. I